Hello everybody and welcome to Amphlett Reviews, and today we're doing part 2 of this special Chameleon film reviews. This time it's for Summer Time Travel Blues, a really fun, light-hearted, team-based, kind of time travel-based movie. Bit of a throwback to kind of like the 80s movies, like Back to the Future for instance. Really kind of fun, unique take on the time travel kind of genre, and just a really fun film all around. PG film, fun for the family. So let's check out the Blu-ray edition itself, and let's check out the film and my thoughts and opinions. And number 2 from Chameleon Films, we have Summer Time Travel Blues. But I am very excited to check out this edition and this release. I'm a big sucker for time travel based movies. There we go, number 2 spine work there. I love the colour designs, the rainbows. It's just a really fun little adventure with some friends. I'm not sure where this is going to go. I'm not sure how much time travel is going to be in the film, but I'm very curious, to say the least. I got a limited edition collector's booklet featuring new essays. We've got original audio commentary from director and writer, which is fantastic. Newly translated English subtitles, new interviews with the writer as well, separate, and a teaser and theatrical trailer. And once again, this is a 1080p presentation, not based on a 4K scan that I'm aware of. And we have your usual English subtitles and Japanese HD audio mix there. And of course, once again, it is a Region B edition, so please have a multi-region player if you're considering picking this up. Wow, the colours on this is absolutely fantastic. I'm really loving the colour vibes on this. It looks fantastic. It looks really, really cool. And we have a booklet there, going into behind the scenes and diving into it, which is really cool to read after the film itself. Awesome. There we go, discount with there. And of course we have our reversible sleeve, which I much prefer without the stification stuff, if possible. So yeah, much cleaner and much nicer. And that's my thoughts and opinions on the Blu-ray edition itself. Summer Time Travel Blues. It's a pretty simple standard release from Chameleon Films. I think they did a really good job with it. I think the artwork's really colourful, it's really nice, represents the whole film itself. I think the extras themselves are pretty standard. I wouldn't say they're kind of mind-blowing, very kind of standard kind of audio commentary behind the scenes or look into the film itself. There's not much of an in-depth look. To be honest, the film itself, leading it a little bit into the review, is quite a simple film. It's, you know, it shows everything on its sleeve. It's not got a deeper message or anything along those lines. One of my favourite features on this entire edition is the booklet, which I think really kind of dives into more of the director's kind of background, especially him doing more anime later on after this film. I think the edition itself is pretty solid. I think it will come down to a case of, are you a fan of the film? What is cost effective? You know, do you live in Australia? Do you live in the States? This is probably more recommendation in terms of more easy access to getting hold of. Maybe the third window edition from the UK, released roughly around the same amount of time, has slightly different extras also compared to this edition. So depending again, do you want the booklet? Do you want these extras? Do you want those extras? Which is a more cost effective, which is easier access for you. So there's at least 2 options in terms of the edition. It depends how big of a fan of the film you are. So that's my review on the actual Blu-ray edition from Chameleon Films. And now my review for the actual film itself, Summer Time Travel Blues, released in 2005. This was a pretty fun film for what it was. You know, I think this is a really enjoyable one-off for myself. I wasn't particularly blown away by the actual film. I think it was really kind of pushing itself for its length. I'm going to be completely honest in terms of my opinion on the film. I did enjoy it for what it was trying to go for. I do think there's a little bit of like the film needs to kind of pick itself up. You know, it's having a bit of quite a bit of time doing a lot of the setup. The first half an hour of the film is pure setup, getting to know the characters, establishing the day, establishing some of the rules of the time travel, and basically it's all set in this one little small town and basically set within this science fiction club. You know, you got a bunch of friends, at least like 6-7 characters, quite a lot of characters in this film, and they've all got quite similar personalities and they've all got kind of the same kind of tropes, and there's definitely, I think, a little bit of a language barrier in terms of some of the humour and some of the way certain lines are delivered. I think some of it was quite well done, some was quite funny, some were a bit cringeworthy and just kind of a little bit forced. you know, but I think when the setup and the actual time travel starts to appearing, and you get this kind of hijinks and the idea they're in the past, it starts to get a bit more fun. It starts to get a bit more, an enjoyable factor. Like, what is this kind of time travel going for? What is the science it wants to go for? It definitely reminds me of more of a kid-friendly version of Time Crimes, and that's a statement I never would have thought I would have said ever, because Time Crimes is super dark, and that's basically what the film is. It's a kid version of Time Crimes. You mess with time travel, there's going to be some sort of ripple effect in terms of how the days work, in terms of past, in terms of future, and that's what the film goes into. It goes into the past, goes into the future, but it's all set within the same location, which keeps the relatively production values quite low. It keeps it flashes up the town quite nicely, and you get some really good moments with some good characters. Some more than others. I felt the women characters were very underdeveloped in the film. I didn't think they did too much in the film, which is a bit of a shame, being the fact they were a bit of a highlight towards the start. I never knew really if they were like girlfriends and boyfriends. I never knew what their reason for being there was. I know they were there for a project in terms of taking pictures, but the actual club itself is a sci-fi club around geek kind of culture. So I'm confused why there's two women there with their character motivation. That comes down to too many characters, and there's a lot of side characters as well. I think the cinema guy was definitely one of my favourites. He was really funny with the Star Trek shirt, and his kind of like bantering between movie rules of science fiction, time travel versus the scientist. There was also goofy and kind of fun and quite cringy in places, I will admit. I'm sure of it, and I think some of the characters could have been less. I think there could have been less characters, and there could have been a bit more focus on a bit more drama in places. I think there could have been a bit more of a serious aspect towards it when the film was trying to go for it. There could have been some sort of message that the film was trying to go for, but that film doesn't try and do that. This is just a lot more of a Goonies kind of approach to a kind of a time travel based movie, and I think it works for the most part. I don't see myself really returning to this film in terms of the film itself, but I enjoyed my experience with it, and I definitely will check out more from the director as well. So that's my thoughts and opinions on the Blu-ray edition for Summer Time Travel Blues and the film itself. I definitely recommend to check this film out if you want a fun, nice, light-hearted film with your friends, with your children, or just want an easy access time travel based movie that has just the right level of kind of kid humor and some fun sci-fi science fiction tropes also alongside it. It's not reinventing the wheel, it's not trying to go for anything deep, it's not it's got all of its kind of messages and its ideas very much on its sleeve. It's not trying to hide anything. It's a very simple film. I think it achieves a good job of what the director was trying to go for, and I think with the time travel fun aspect of it, I think it keeps the film light and keeps the film going for sure. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video, guys. Please comment down below what are your thoughts and opinions on the film, what are your thoughts and opinions on the edition itself. Did you pick it up? Next up we have is Exiled, the last and part 3 of the Johnny To kind of experience that I'm going through, the Hong Kong movie. Very excited for this one now. Love me some Johnny goddamn To, and this will be the third and conclusion of the 3-part Chameleon trilogy reviews. So stay tuned for that one, guys. It'll be very, very soon. So in the meantime, this has been Amphlett Reviews. Signing out.